Okay, anyone? Bharat Kumar,
Sir, to make people follow something.
please speak loudly. Your voice is not reaching in a clear way.
Sir, I said to make people follow something.
No, something you can aware the people also without imposing the rule.
But sir, without imposing the rule, they will not follow something strictly.
So there should be difference in that, na? What is the provision, the difference between act and rules and the, you can say, the awareness or the guidelines, laws? To have the sustainable development, particularly utilizing the natural resources, and on one hand, and on the other hand, the safeguard or protection of the environment. Because if the development is going on and utilization of the natural resources are continuously going on, then certainly there is a time or there is a situation when it is crossing beyond the carrying capacity of the ecosystem. So any ecosystem is safe and does not cross its carrying capacity. Therefore, we must have the rule or acts so that the human beings which are responsible for the utilization of the natural resource at length or significantly, we must have the idea that if we cross the limit, we will be punished. Second is the judicious use of the natural resources, and third is the sustainable development. Both are interlinked. If judicious use of natural resources occurs or take place rather, then certainly we are going to achieve the concept of the sustainable development. So let me share the screen and then start the deliberations or the talk on the, you can say, the environmental laws. So let me share the screen. Screen is visible to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. This is environmental acts and rules. Agencies for making environmental laws and their enforcement in India. As I mentioned that I will be discussing with a context to our country. Let us discuss the certain issues here. This is the important. Central Pollution Control Board, State Pollution Control Boards, State Departments of the Environment, Union Territories Environmental Committees, the Forest Survey of India, the Wildlife Institute of India, the National Afforestation Eco Development Board, the Botanical and Zoological Survey of India. But out of these institutions or departments, most important is the CPCB, Central Pollution Control Board, and State Pollution Control Board. These two are looking very effectively, and they are very much responsible for the protection of the environment, any kind of environment. So, and nowadays, or you can say the 1 decade back, there has been a constitution of National Green Tribunal, that is called NGT. I have mentioned many times this term, name rather, of the institute or the body that is known as National Green Tribunal, which is set up the cases of environment. This, and without any much more difficulties, the petitions are filed against the damage to the environment. So these are the different institutions or departments which are responsible for, are involved rather, under the environmental acts and laws. Environmental laws and rules, major environmental laws dealing with the protection of the environment can be divided into the following. This is water pollution, air pollution, environment protection, public liability insurance, National Environment Appellate Authority, National Environment Tribunal, animal welfare, wildlife, forest conservation, Biodiversity, Indian Forest Service. So out of these three are very important. These three acts we will be discussing in particular: Water Pollution Act, Air Pollution Act, Environment Protection Act. So these three. So here, if you look towards the acts and notification and each of the above category are given, water pollution, if you discuss, the Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Case Act 1977 amended in 1992. What do you mean by the amendment? Amended in 1992. Anyone?
लागू हुआ.
Pardon? Speak loudly.
Sir, 1992 से ये लागू हुआ.
No.
Sir, some modifications were made.
Yeah. That is correct. Some modifications which were made during that year in that is called amendment. That is called amendment, and here it is written amended during the 1992. The Water Prevention and Control Pollution Amendment Act 2003, then the Water Prevention and Control Pollution Act 1974 amended 1988, as I mentioned. So the rules under this act has been mentioned here. The 1978 means during this year the rule has been approved, the Water Prevention and Control of Pollution CES rules 1978. So there are, let me come out before this discussing these things, let me clarify you the three things. There is an objective of any act, there are certain provisions in any act, and there is a provisions of penalties in any act. These three are there. Means the objective, then details or description of this act, and then the penalty or provisions under this act. Okay. So these are the different references for the different act, like Water Pollution and Prevention Act, Prevention and Control of Pollution, as it is mentioned. Then the Water Prevention and Control of Pollution says rules. Earlier here you are, if you see, then it is act. Here it is a rule. The Water Prevention and Control of Pollution says rules 1978. Then the rule 1975. Then the rule 1975, which was amended during 1976. So this means three: GSR 378E, GSR 58E, and then this is the which is the one is the amendment that is during the 1976. Date on which the Water Prevention and Control Pollution Cess Amendment Act came into the force, that is called 2003, 19 of 2003, and the rate of cess notified under the Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Cess Act 1977. Likewise, if you see in all, this is there, then let me come to this part. Yeah. Here. Major environmental laws, the Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Act 1974. Okay. Here it says, this act provides for the prevention and control of water pollution and the maintenance of restoration of wholesomeness of water. What do you mean by the restoration? Anyone?
सर वापस पहले जैसा कर देना.
Very good. Restoration. This act provides for the prevention and control of water pollution and the maintenance of restoration of wholesomeness of water. Okay. Restoration का मतलब ये है, जैसा one of your colleagues replied that we have to make all out efforts so that the water bodies comes into the original position. Like if it is polluted, it is free from the pollution. If it is encroached physically, it is out of beyond the encroachment. It is out free from the encroachment. Then if the quantitative depletion is there, then we have to augment the resource in such a way that quantitatively it is sustainable. So all these are there. So this act, the provision under this or objective of this rather act is provides for the prevention and control of pollution. Prevention and control. What is the difference between the prevention and control? Anyone? What is the difference between prevention and control?
प्रिवेंशन पहले ही बचा लेना और कंट्रोल होने के बाद उसको कंट्रोल करना।
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I asked that what is the difference between the prevention and control? It is here, written first bullet. The act provides the prevention and control of water pollution. What is the difference between prevention and control? Anyone? Anyone? Hello? Amisha?
Yes, sir. Sir, prevention, I think it is like kind of abstaining or kind of preventing it altogether. And control is like even if some of it happens, then some of the water pollution happens, then it can be controlled to a certain extent.
Very good, very good. This is the point. Means prevention means protection so that pollution does not occur. And if the pollution has occurred, then we have to make all out efforts or remedial measures so that pollution is reduced or it is free, means it is purified. So this is the difference between the pollution and control. So this act provides both the things, both provision. It is not only protection, it is also if the pollution has happened or occurred in any water, then all out efforts means technology we have to adopt certain methodology which are going to help to reduce that you can say the magnitude of the pollution and up to the extent that it is free from the pollution, so that it is made available as a potable water. The second bullet, if you look, all human activities having a bearing on water quality are covered under this act. Means either the pollution or contamination or even the quantitative depletion by any activities of human being are covered under this act. Can you cite any examples? Can you cite any example? Anyone? Anybody? Amisha?
So like the day-to-day uses of water that people use, like domestic use, I think.
No. My point is here, all human activities having a bearing on water quality are covered under this act. What do you mean by it?
So like all the human activities that basically involve the use of water and that can degrade the quality of water are covered under this act.
Yeah, like?
So anything that will lead to pollution of water.
Can you cite any live example? Anyone? Anyone?
सर सीज और
Industrial.
रिवर्स में जो कचरा वगैरह होता है,
अरे अभी गंगा के पोल्यूशन पे इतना इन्वेस्टमेंट हो रहा है, नमामि गंगे प्रोजेक्ट आपका नाम सुना होगा आपने, क्लीनिंग ऑफ रिवर गंगा. So you are not able to cite any example. So many activities are going on for cleaning the Ganga, and the sources of the pollutions have been identified. People are trying to curb it. The technology, either due to the adaptation of the proper technology, or by the mass awareness, or tapping the different type of the effluents at source. All these are happening. And this is the one most important example. Are you getting the point or not? हेलो.
Yes, sir.
आपको मतलब समझ में आ रहा है नहीं?
yes sir, yes sir.
Yes, sir.
Very good. So let me come to the third bullet. Subject to the provisions in Act, no person without the previous consent of the State Pollution Control Board, you see very categorically it is written here, can establish any industry, operate. अगर industry establish नहीं कर सकता, it cannot be operated, or any treatment and disposal system or an extension or addition thereto. Thereto means industries too, which is likely to discharge sewage or trade effluent into stream or well, sewer or on hand, and have to apply to the SPCB concerned to obtain the consent to establish here. अगर कभी आपको मौका मिला in future and you want under entrepreneurship, you want to establish any industry on your own, then you must have this no objection certificate that is called consent to establish. And here there is a two term which is issued. These two papers are issued by the State Pollution Control Board. As I mentioned in the beginning, the departments which are responsible here, if you recall, I am coming to the Central Pollution Control Board, headquarters is New Delhi. State Pollution Control Board is situated in each state's capital. सभी states की capital में है State Pollution Control Board. Or there is a one Central Pollution Control Board, headquarters is New Delhi, which is supervisory body and which is passing all the guidelines and you can say the norms and rules to the State Pollution Control Board. And here if you see, these two documents are very much necessary before starting any industry. Consent to establish means there should be consent of the SPCB, State Pollution Control Board, to establish the industry. And if you are following all the norms set up by the SPCB for particular industry and you are fulfilling the criteria, then they will provide you the consent to operate. Hello. अरे नमस्कार, बताओ बीपी. हेलो. सो जब हेलो बोलता हूं तो थोड़ा सा आप बोल दिया करो ना, क्योंकि कभी कोई अर्जेंट कॉल आ जाती है. देन आई एम मेकिंग द यू कैन से द म्यूट माइक म्यूटेड and then I am again starting. So therefore I am asking whether I am audible to all of you.
Audible, sir.
Okay. So I was discussing that these two, consent to establish and consent to operate. Okay. Then the another act which was, this original act is the Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Act 1974. ये पूरे act का नाम है. एक्ट का नाम केवल वाटर एक्ट कहेंगे तो नहीं, द वाटर प्रिवेंशन एंड कंट्रोल ऑफ पोल्यूशन एक्ट 1974. दिस इज द टोटल, you can say, the entire name of this act. Then this act was slightly modified, or addition took place during the 1977 after 3 years, and it was made the Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Cess Act. Cess provision. Cess means CESS. Anybody? What do you mean by the cess?
Taxes?
Yeah, very good. Taxes. Correct. So the tax, water tax, the main purpose of this act is to levy and collect cess on water consumed by certain categories of industry is specified in the schedule appended to the act. The money thus collected is used by CPCB and SPCB to prevent and control water pollution. So from each industry, or even if you are using the domestic water, then the water tax is there. Nominal, it is nominal, but water tax is there. But if for the industry is used, so this is called cess. So during 1977, this act speaks that there is a provision of cess, which is the money has to be collected from the industries by either CPCB or SPCB. Then I come to just I am discussing in a very brief. I will be discussing later on in detail one by one what are the provisions and penalties under the different acts. But I am here discussing the salient features of this act, so that you can have an idea about the different type of acts, environmental acts. The Air Prevention and Control of Pollution Act 1981. Can you tell the magnitude of the damage or magnitude of the health hazards is more severe in the air by the air pollution, air contamination than water? Why this act came late? If you look, 1974 Water Act, here 1974, and here it is in 1981. Anybody? Why it was delayed? Why Air Act came late? Air is more essential than water.
Sir, because of cars came late.
केवल कार,
Cars and trucks.
Industrialization late हुआ.
You are somewhat correct, I will, Saraswat, but something more should be there.
Sir, industrialization कम था उस time.
Yeah. Or something else. Amisha.
Sir, that's it. I think because of industries, the less number of industries. I can't think of anything more.
Okay. So beyond that, it is fact that before 1981, there are 2-3 things which are responsible for delay in this act. Number one, earlier the atmosphere was quite fresh due to the less number of industries or human activities which are responsible for the air pollution. Number two, if the atmosphere was better or it was fresher, then certainly the peoples were not caring it and peoples were enjoying the privilege of the atmospheric condition. Number three, that it is not visible by naked eye until unless the health hazards are seen. कोई भी कंटामिनेशन एयर में विजिबल नहीं है था पहले, इसलिए जो है लोगों को समझ में नहीं आ रहा था कि इसमें क्या अच्छा चल रहा है, ठीक है, बट वाटर में कोई कंटामिनेशन होगा तो टेस्ट में फर्क पड़ जाएगा, तुरंत कलर चेंज हो जा सकता है, बहुत सारी चीजें होती हैं. सो देयरफॉर द visibility, or you can say the perception of the impact of the contamination or pollution was later seen or observed, perceived rather, by the people. Therefore, this act came in late. The objective of the Air Act 1981 to prevent, control and reduce air pollution, including noise pollution. Under provisions of this Act, no person shall, without previous consent of the State Pollution Control Board, establish or operate any industrial plant in air pollution control area. The investor has to apply to the SPCB Pollution Control Committee to consent. So any industries or any activities which is responsible for contamination to the air, then they require the NOC, no objection certificate, or consent to establish or consent to operate document from the SPCB, as in the case of Water Act. No person operating any industrial plant shall emit any air pollution in excess of the standards laid down by the State Pollution Control Board. Means under this Act, there is a strict provision that no one is free to have such conditions or such operation which is responsible for air pollution. And air कैसे आप कहते हैं, how do you say that air is polluted or water is polluted? Can anyone say? How do you say that air is polluted or water is polluted? How do you confirm?
Its taste, smell, and color changes.
Suppose that certain things are beyond it. There is no change in color. There is no bitter taste. There is no foul smell. Then you will confirm that, or you will recommend that no, it is free from pollution.
सब मशीन्स होती हैं जो कि एयर की क्वालिटी वगैरह चेक करते हैं.
नहीं, वो तो ठीक है, मशीन तो चेक करती है, बट अगर मशीन को फिर रिजल्ट तो आप ही को देखना है ना.
सर अगर ब्रीथिंग में लाइक प्रॉब्लम हो रही हो,
अगर ब्रीथिंग में प्रॉब्लम नहीं है तो हम कह देंगे कि एयर इज फ्री फ्रॉम कंटामिनेशन. ब्रीथिंग में प्रॉब्लम तो आ जाने लगेगी तब तो बहुत ज्यादा सीवियर हो गया ना ये तो. इफ सपोज दैट health hazards does not occur, will you recommend or say that there is no contamination either of water or air?
No sir.
Then what is the reference? What is the criteria? Anyone? थोड़ा रीजनिंग सोचा करिए भाई हमारे क्लास में.
Disturbances in natural phenomena like rain and all.
बेटा वो भी बहुत देर की बात होती है. जब बहुत काफी पोल्यूशन हो जाता है तभी डिस्टरबेंस होता है. ऐसा नहीं होता कि थोड़ा सा पोल्यूशन हुआ तो हम कह दें पोल्यूशन तो है, लेकिन वो डिस्टरबेंस तो बहुत बाद में आता है.
Composition of water and air.
Pardon?
By checking the composition of air and water.
Then what is the reference? कंपोजिशन तो ठीक है, चेक करेंगे, कोई रेफरेंस तो होना चाहिए.
डिजीजेस ज्यादा बढ़ जाती हैं लोगों में.
ओहो, अगर मान लीजिए डिजीज नहीं है, डिजीज तो तब बढ़ती है जब बहुत ही सीवियर पोल्यूशन हो जाता है किसी चीज का, एयर में या वाटर में. बहुत कम पोल्यूशन है, कलर चेंज नहीं है, कोई ऑब्जेक्शनेबल प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, फाउल स्मेल नहीं है, तो कैसे कह सकते हैं? फिर कह सकते हैं क्या कि फ्रेश एयर एंड वाटर बोथ आर फ्री फ्रॉम पोल्यूशन? एनीवन? धनराज चौरसिया. धनराज चौरसिया. दिव्यांश नारायण. दिव्यांश नारायण. दिव्यांश अग्रवाल.
Sir, I think there must be an organization which can make a reference. Which can make a standard.
Very good. They have made. You tell the name of the organization. I want to know. You are correct. There are organizations which have already made long back the references? I would like to know. Himanshi?
Right.
Himanshi,
Yes, sir.
do you have the answer?
No, sir. I have no idea regarding this.
Okay. Krishna Soni,
यस सर.
can you tell?
सर शायद कोई AQI लेवल होता है क्या, उससे शायद चेक करते हैं सर.
AQI
अगर
लेवल
वो
में AQ एयर क्वालिटी इंडेक्स होता है
इंडेक्स.
AQI.
यस सर. अगर वो ज्यादा हो तो सर जानते हैं कि
ज्यादा कितना हो?
ज्यादा है एयर में.
कितना हो
सर शायद 400 से 500 तक मुझे आइडिया है.
कृष्णा,
अभी हालांकि दिल्ली में चेक किया गया था सर, 400 पाया गया था.
हाँ, वो क्या है वो? अगर कृष्णा मैं पूछूं कि क्या कोई कलर स्कीम भी है एयर क्वालिटी इंडेक्स के साथ रिलेट होती है, तो क्या बता सकते हो? अगर दिल्ली में ज्यादा था तो कलर क्या रहा होगा उसका?
फॉगिश टाइप का था सर, हल्का फॉग टाइप
अरे
का.
नहीं,
मुझे
ऐसा नहीं,
अच्छे
कलर मैं पूछ रहा हूँ. एनीवन?
नहीं सर, मुझे एक्जेक्टली
सर डार्क रेड.
अरे डार्क क्या होता है भाई? रेड है, येलो है, ब्राउन है, ग्रीन है, क्या रहेगा कलर?
सर रेड कलर. रेड कलर.
Red means severe air pollution.
Yes sir.
Then brown means less severe. Then yellow means moderate, and green means fresh. Means it is below the, you can say, the limit. AQI, air quality index, AQI. Okay. My first question is still unanswered. कौन बताएगा भाई? रिया?
No sir, I don't know the name of the
Yes, sir.
organization.
Preview के Canaria, you were speaking something?
Yes sir,
Replying
the name
something?
of the organization I don't know.
तेज बोलो भाई, तुम्हारी आवाज साफ नहीं आ रही. Speak loudly.
Sir, I don't know the exact name of the organization.
तो कुछ एग्जैक्ट नहीं तो कुछ नेम जानते हो क्या? एग्जैक्ट नहीं जानते?
कंट्रोल बोर्ड.
हैं?
पॉल्यूशन कंट्रोल बोर्ड.
नो. रिया?
सर अलग अलग कंट्रीज के लिए अलग अलग बनाते हैं, बट आई गेस WHO.
Very good, Riya. So the WHO and Indian standards, there are two: Bureau of Indian Standard, BIS, and WHO, World Health Organization. These two references in India we take or consider for declaring any air or water pollution rather. Any water or air has been polluted, we take the reference or standards of Bureau of Indian Standards and WHO. These guidelines are revised from time to time. And for the European countries, these standards are little bit less flexible, while for the Asian countries, it is slightly flexible. So for the different countries, the Indian standards, as name itself reflects the meaning, Bureau of Indian Standards means it is applicable to our country, while the World Health Organization is applicable for all. So if any parameter, any physical or chemical, biological parameters means which are constituents of the air or water composition, as one of your colleague replied earlier, the composition जब change होता है, composition when it crosses the limit set by the BIS or WHO, World Health Organization, then that is called pollution. Suppose that arsenic concentration in water, according to the WHO or World Health Organization, it should be 10 ppb, maximum 10 ppb for the drinking water. And if it crosses and it is 15-20 ppb of any sample in any groundwater or surface water which you are going to take, then it will be unfit, means it will be called, it is contaminated by the arsenic. Are you getting my point or not?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
ये सर
हाँ, तो इतना प्रेशर में क्यों बोल रहे हो तुम लोग? जैसे लग रहा है बहुत बड़ा प्रेशर कोई दिमाग पे है। अरे समझ में आ रहा है तो बताओ, नहीं समझ में आ रहा है देन आई विल अगेन री एक्सप्लेन, because you should be very clear. It is not the thing to be remembered, to be memorized. If you are conceptually clear that there are two standards, you will be always having the idea. कभी भी आपको ये नहीं कोई बता सकता कि अरे ये दो स्टैंडर्ड्स क्या होते हैं, स्टैंडर्ड क्या होता है. Standards are those which have been set up by the international or national organization and which is for uniformly accepted for the country. So as I mentioned, two organizations, Bureau of Indian Standards and World Health Organization, they set the parameters of the limit, desirable limit and permissible limit. There are two limits. Suppose that pH, in that also there is a desirable limit, there is a permissible limit. If you search the Google, in the Google, Indian standards for drinking water, automatically that list will come to you. And in that there are two columns, desirable limit and permissible limit for each parameter. Sodium, potassium, calcium, magnesium, arsenic, cobalt, nickel, heavy metals जितने हैं, major radicals, fluoride, iron, nitrate, क्या होना चाहिए, कितना होना चाहिए drinking water के लिए, that is kept in two categories, that is desirable limit and permissible limit. So the permissible limit is the limit which should not be crossed. That is the maximum limit, maximum concentration of each parameter, while desirable limit is desired and which may not be available in the nature. But if it is below the permissible limit, it will be fine. So no person operating any industrial plant shall emit any air pollution in excess of the standards. यही standards है laid down by the SPCB and have to comply with the stipulated condition. SPCB भी वही फॉलो करती है स्टेट पोल्यूशन कंट्रोल बोर्ड जो इंडियन स्टैंडर्ड्स है. ओके, सो द स्टैंडर्ड्स फॉर द एयर क्वालिटी जैसे RSPM, रिजिडुअल सस्पेंडेड पार्टिकुलेट मैटर्स कितना होना चाहिए एटमॉस्फेयर एयर में, सस्पेंडेड पार्टिकुलेट मैटर SPM कितना होना चाहिए, NO2 कितनी होनी चाहिए, SO2 कितना होना चाहिए, CO2 कितना होना चाहिए, O2 कितना होना चाहिए, all these gases and the other particulate matters. There are two composition in the air. जैसे एक particulate matters है which are under suspension in the atmosphere and it then later on it settles down on the ground surface, and second is the gases. So the gases as well as the particulate matters both are very important constituents of the air, and air is analyzed under these two categories. What are the concentrations of the different gases in any area and what are the particulate matters which are solid in nature, and that is both these parameters are harmful for the health. If the gases concentration of the gases is okay, but particulate matters are beyond the norms or standards, then that is also called, it is air pollution. So, and that is also dangerous. Okay. Then the third is the Environment Protection Act 1986. Why it is fourth? Because one in Water Cess Act it was added, therefore it is fourth. The Environment Protection Act 1986 means it came again later on after Air Act. This is an called Umbrella Act. तो यदि आपको Umbrella Environmental Act डिस्कस करने के लिए कहा जाए तो क्या डिस्कस करेंगे? If suppose that, yeah, tell.
It is Environment Protection Act 1986.
Very good. So suppose that the word is changed only, and I ask you discuss the Umbrella Act under environment. then immediately you should catch that this act has to be discussed, the Environment Protection Act 1986. Why it is called Umbrella Act? Because under this act, all the acts are existing related to the environment. This is an umbrella act for the protection and improvement of the environment. There are two objectives, major objectives, protection and improvement. It is not only protection, simultaneously we have to improve also. In protection and improvement of the environment and for matters connected, which provides that no person carrying on any industry, operation or process should discharge or emit or permit to discharge or emitted any environmental pollution in excess of such standards as may be prescribed. The second is several rules related to various aspects of management of hazardous chemical waste have been notified under this act. Central government has restricted, prohibited location of industries in different areas so as to safeguard the environment. It is very much clear under this act that we are not free to have any kind of waste material or chemicals at any place. It has clear-cut guidelines under this provision of this act that where certain materials which are hazardous in nature, either it is a chemical, liquid or solid, pesticide or insecticides, whatever, any hazardous materials, that has been laid down that where they have to be put up and under what criteria, under what conditions they should be kept. Many standards of air emissions, discharge of effluent and noise have been evolved and notified. Means it is not that during this 1986 whatever the norms have been evolved, it has been always modified from time to time in the context of the present rate of the contamination, industrialization, human health hazards. All these are kept into the mind and so that we discuss and finalize that what is the recent norms. So it is not always true that whatever at the time of act, suppose that this Environment Protection Act 1986, so whatever the norms were fixed or you can say allowed for all the parameters during 1986, it is not today. They are modified from time to time. Subject to the provision of this act, central government has the power to take all measures as it deems necessary for the purpose of protection and improving the environment. Means CPCB, Central Pollution Control Board, is the body under the Government of India, is responsible for this protection and improvement of the environment, and that is percolated to all the state pollution control boards, and they are made responsible. Procedures, safeguard, prohibition and restriction on the handling of hazardous substances, along with the provision and restriction on the location of industries in different areas have been notified from time to time. So these are the three major acts which I will be discussed later on in detail. Besides these three acts, other acts let me discuss only: the Hazardous Waste Management and Handling Rules 1989 and 2000. 18 categories हैं इसकी hazardous waste की here. MOEF means Ministry of Environment and Forest notified the Ministry of Health and Health Amendment Rules in 2006, sorry, January 6, 2000. Under this rule, toxic chemicals, flammable chemicals and explosives have been redefined to be termed as hazardous chemical. HW means hazardous waste. Hazardous chemicals, as per new criteria, 684 hazardous chemicals have been identified. It is not 1 or 2 or 3. It is 684 hazardous chemicals have been identified under this, you can say, the rules. So handling rules are there, waste of the hazardous waste, handling rules are there. They have been put up in 18 categories. The manufacture, storage and import of hazardous chemical rules, this is also very important. How you store, number one, how you transport, because either you are exporting or importing, there is a provision of transport. Without transport, you cannot. So during transportation, how you should transport the hazardous material, that provision is there of the hazardous chemicals. So under this rule 1989 and 2000, so and it has been so the many things are here added in this. Then the Public Liability Insurance Act, the act unique to India on the owner the liability to immediate relief in the respect of death or to any person or damage to any property resulting from any accident while handling hazardous any of the notified hazardous chemical. यदि 684 जो नोटिफाइड केमिकल्स हैं उसको हैंडल करते समय यदि कोई डेथ या डैमेज होता है, इंश्योरेंस दैट इंडस्ट्री हैज इंश्योरेंस एंड इंश्योरेंस कंपनी इज liable or responsible to pay. Okay, under this act, the Public Liability Insurance Act 1991. The relief has to be provided on no fault basis. Means if it is your fault, then no insurance is provided. No claim you can not claim. But if you are not at fault and it is the fault of industries or the fault of, you can say, the natural phenomena, something happens, due to that if the fault damage occurs, then in that case the provision is. If suppose that you are breaking yourself, you have not followed the proper code of conduct during the transportation or storage of the hazardous waste and you are damaged and you say that I need insurance claim, then that is not, there is no provision for that. The owner handling hazardous chemicals has to take an insurance policy to meet this liability of amount equal to its paid up capital or up to 500 million. Whichever less, the policy has to be renewed every year. As in the case of other policies or insurance policy, it is not very uncommon. The National Environmental Tribunal Act, under this act, the National Green Tribunal was constituted, NGT. Under this act was passed in 1995. On what it says, the National Environment Tribunal Act 1995 is enacted to provide for strict liability of damages arising out of indents occurring during handling of hazardous substances and for establishment of National Environment Tribunal effective and expunction disposal of cases arising from such accidents. So under this act, the National Environment Tribunal Act was modified from this act. The Manufacture, Storage and Import of Hazardous Chemical Act and Rules, Chemical Rules 1989 and 2000. 1989 and 2000, but before that this act was made. That was the rule. And the National Environment Tribunal Act 1985, the objective of this act is related to the handling and the transportation and storage of the hazardous chemicals, hazardous substances. The Chemical Accidents, Emergency Planning and Preparedness and Response Rules 1996. This is also related to the crisis group in districts and states. The rule provides especially backup of setting up a crisis group, which was later on modified, and National Disasters Management body was formed at each district level in each states. Earlier it was called crisis group, which was later on modified, renamed as the National Disasters Management Group or body or department, you can say. So these rules provide a statutory backup of setting up a crisis group in districts and states which have major accident hazard installation for providing information to the public. Okay, the MAH, major accident hazards, which include industrial activities, transport, and isolated storage at a site handling hazardous chemicals in the quantity specified. So these are the difference. I will upload these things, this material, don't worry about it. But my point is, 3 acts, the Water Pollution Prevention Act 1974, then the Air Pollution Prevention Act 1981, and then Environmental Protection Act 1986. इस तीनों को आप अच्छे से पढ़िए. एक और सारी चीजें जो मैंने रूल्स एंड एक्ट बताए हैं, इसमें अगर ज्यादा समय न दे सकें तो देयर इज नथिंग, बट एट लीस्ट दिस 3 एक्ट्स, एयर, वाटर एंड एनवायरमेंट प्रोटेक्शन एक्ट. इसको अच्छे से पढ़िए कि उसमें प्रोविजंस क्या हैं, पेनल्टीज क्या हैं, एंड आई विल बी डिस्कसिंग इन द नेक्स्ट क्लास ऑल दीज. Okay, with these words, any question, any doubt? Any question, any doubt? Okay, if no doubt, no question. Thank you very much. Thank you all.
Sir.
क्या कहते हैं, कल देख लूंगा मैं.
हाँ ठीक है. और फोन यार मैं ऑर्डर कर दूँ. देखा यार कितना का है. और भाई तेरी क्या कर रहा है.